Chapter 5. The Mafia Trap. The first rays of dawn brought no light, but merely painted the sky above Gino's estate. A dirty, leaden gray, it was more than just a home, but a veritable impregnable fortress, hidden among a dense, damp pine forest, right on the coast. High stone walls, covered in moss, barred windows, and silent men in black patrolling the perimeter. Left, no doubt, no one left here without the owner's permission. Beatrice stood by the second-floor window, clenching her cold fingers into fists. Inside, she seethed with rage and a suffocating, impotent fear. Her first escape attempt had failed 2 hours earlier. She'd tried to use the car through the underground garage, but the heavy steel gates simply wouldn't open. A minute later, Gino was standing beside her, calm, unperturbed, and absolutely unyielding. The footsteps behind her were so silent that she only became aware of his presence when the familiar scent of pungent tobacco and wormwood wafted through the room. "You haven't eaten," Gino said. He placed a tray with hot coffee and an untouched breakfast on a small table. Beatrice turned to him abruptly. She was still wearing that same evening gown, the color of dried blood, but now it felt like a straitjacket. "Open the gates, Gino," she demanded, in a dry, scorching tone. "The game is over. The wedding is over. My father has received his signal. Ezio is trampled. I fulfilled my part of the bargain. You got your show. Let me go." Gino approached her slowly. He was wearing a simple black shirt, open at the collar, and this casual, informal appearance exuded even more of a hidden, oppressive danger. "A bargain?" He narrowed his gray eyes slightly, stopping a step away from her. "Beatrice, you're still trying to think in terms of business, but there's no deal here. You came to my house. You asked me to be your man in front of the entire South. I agreed. And now you think you can just turn around and walk away. You lured me here by trickery," she screamed, stepping forward and pressing her palms against his chest. "You've ruined my life for years. You've locked me away like a prisoner." Gino didn't even flinch from her blow. Instead, he covered her palms with his large, hot hands, making her feel the frantic beat of his heart. "I locked you away because you'll be destroyed from the outside," he said harshly, without a trace of justification. "Your father will never forgive you for this demarche. Ezio is looking for a leash to regain control. Did you think your independence was worth anything in this world? Without me, you're just a trophy for old wolves. And with you, who am I? Your plaything, your personal trophy, the kind you've collected from photographs. You are my everything," Gino said clearly, emphasizing every word. There was no passion or romantic sentimentality in his voice. It sounded like a dark, fatal sentence. "I won't ask you for forgiveness. I won't try to please you. You can hate me every second of your life, Beatrice. You can curse the day you crossed this threshold, but you will never leave here." He pulled her sharply to him, quelling her attempt to break free. His lips covered hers in a demanding, harsh, almost crushing kiss. It smelled of tenderness, tinged with venom, submission, and an uncontrollable obsession pent up over the years. Beatrice tried to resist. She bit back, tasting the salty, metallic taste of his blood on her lips, but Gino only tightened his grip on the back of her head, preventing her from pulling away. And at some point, between insane rage and savage rejection, a dark, destructive wave flared within her own chest. Her fingers dug into his shoulders against her will. This wasn't meek submission. It was war, a war of two wills, where every touch burned, and hatred and fear intertwined with a vicious, dangerous attraction that instantly stole her breath. When Gino finally pulled away, his lips were split, and his eyes burned with a dark, triumphant fire. Beatrice breathed heavily, looking at him with insatiable malice, but her cheeks burned and her pulse pounded somewhere in her throat. "You'll die in hell, Gino," she whispered, wiping her lips with the back of her hand. "Perhaps," he smirked, wiping a drop of blood from his lower lip, "but only with you." At that moment, a hurried, muffled knock sounded outside the door. Gino's head of security entered the room without knocking, pale, holding a walkie-talkie. "Boss, we have a problem. Giovanni Romano and Ezio have rallied the men. 3 columns are advancing toward our perimeter. A blood feud has been declared against us."